Then it's on down Ogden Avenue, through downtown and into Cicero, once the home of some of America's most notorious underworld families. Where's the road that wouldn't die back in 1977 when they took down the last highway sign and thought it would just go away, but it wouldn't just go away. Cyrus Avery's ribbon of dreams, because it wasn't just a road. You gotta start in Chicago and head west, that's just the way it is. Horace Greeley said, "Go west, young man." The wagon train's headed west out of St. Louis. And you stop at the launching pad in Bloomington, Illinois, where the Gemini giant stands out front like a 1930s sentinel over the old alignment. Tom Joad traveled from east to west with his family in tethered mattresses, leaving the Dust Bowl of Oklahoma in the 30s. Sun even goes from east to west as it drops into the Pacific Ocean every night. Where's the road where people from Sweden and Germany and France and Japan make their pilgrimage every year from Chicago to the Pacific? What are they looking for? What do they think they'll find? What do I think I'll find? I'm just looking for the spirit of the road. Looking for the spirit of the road. Does anybody see? Does anybody know where I can find the spirit of the road? In the windows of the diners and the whistles of streamliners, I am looking for the spirit of the road. In the shadows at Twin Arrows and the ghosts that walk Cabarro, I'm looking for the spirit of the road. I'm just looking for the spirit of the road. And the road winds down through Illinois, through Joliet, Wilmington, and Springfield. An afternoon in the factory towns can be a desolate reminder to the heart of 66. Where's the road where Route 66 signs began to reappear on the sides of buildings, shops, and sheds as if by magic? As if the Route 66 signs painted on the very highway itself were a kind of stigmata of the American dream. And then it's the Mississippi and Chain of Rocks Bridge, now long closed, but once the only way on 66 to St. Louis. And the mud of the Mississippi still calls to artists and writers and musicians, as it always will. It's on through St. Louis, down Tucker to Chippewa Street, maybe Ted Drew's frozen custard stand. And on into Missouri, Funk's Grove, Springfield, by the cornfield, where the young girls look the same as they do in New York City, with their dreams in their wide eyes, looking for the spirit of the road, looking for the spirit of the road. And she's running through the cornfields of New York City, and I'm driving by the cornfields of Illinois. And when I had the dream fields in New York City, same as the dream that I had in Illinois. And then it's on across the tip of Kansas. But just before we leave, it's Halltown, and the old alignment over a river that's so peaceful think that time just stopped right there, and the world never happened. Looking for the spirit of the road. People of Galena, Kansas are mostly church-going Christians who don't take too kindly to the ones who ride the Harleys through town every weekend, the ones who still think they're Brando and the Wild One. Some miners were killed in the 30s on Route 66 in Galena during a riot, a John L. Lewis mining dispute. And in Quapaw, Kansas, they still talk of the spook light, these balls of light that dance around the hills and even jump automobiles. They say they've been there ever since they can remember, and nobody to this day knows what they really are. I'm looking for the spirit of the road in Coleman, Oklahoma, at the Coleman Theater in Miami, Oklahoma, where Will Rogers once stood and redefined America with a reality check that long outlived even Rogers himself, and the road became known as the Will Rogers Highway there. And the Coleman Theater still stands beside 66 with a facade that screams, "I am alive," against the Oklahoma horizon. Then it's on into Claremore, where Lynn Riggs wrote "Green Grow the Lilacs." It was later made into Oklahoma, and an area was defined by the blue whale in its own pond. Beside 66 is closed now, but in Catoosa, it once was the stop. And the fence that surrounds the vacant lot where the federal building once stood in Oklahoma City is a grim reminder to the blast that shook not only America but the world itself. Route 66 just isn't the main artery of the American dream, but the site of some of our worst nightmares. Funny how the worst always brings out the best in us. And I'm looking for the spirit of the road. I'm looking for the spirit of the road. Does anybody see, does anybody know where I can find the spirit of the road? The road takes on a certain peace as you hit Kansas and Oklahoma. There's a certain timelessness to the old alignment, the two lane that runs across strange bridges and bending trees from the constant wind. We're on into Clinton, Oklahoma is Pop Hicks' Diner. Been there since the 30s. There, Howard and Mary Nichols work the cafe as they have for years. They work it every day and they work it every night, except the nights when Mary has bingo. They love 66 and they love the old diner and the people that come in for coffee and a bit of Howard and Mary. They are who we think we are. When we're looking for the spirit of the road, when we're looking for the spirit of the road, does anybody see, does anybody know where I can find the spirit of the road? And then it's on to Oklahoma. You can almost feel John Steinbeck here. We're in Texas before you know it. In Shamrock at the U-Drop Inn, with a strange, bizarre tower you won't see anywhere else in the world. Certainly not at those weren't we just here Route 40 mini marts that most people stop at. In Groom, Texas, the Brighton Tower, Groom's claim to fame is the Brighton Tower, one leg is shorter than the other, giving us a leaning tower, a pizza lover. Montevideo, Reno. And 66 starts taking on the look of armadillos and cactus and sagebrush. And right outside of Amarillo, on Stanley Marsh's ranch, they planted 10 Cadillacs in the ground. Cadillac Ranch became visual rock and roll. West of Amarillo on the 40 side, you can really miss it for a Cadillac ride. Rolling down your window, listen to the sound of 1050 Cadillacs planted in the ground. If you go to Texas, give me a chance. Take me back down the Cadillac Ranch. I'm kicking off your shoes if you know how to dance. Take me back down Cadillac Ranch. You don't need a reason, just go as you want. Go and write your name on a Cadillac car. Yeah, Johnny loves Lucy and Choo Choo was here. Love to write my name on an Eldorado's rear. The wind's gonna blow, making the sound of 1050 Cadillacs planted in the ground. Oh, hey, if you go to Texas, give me a chance. Take me back down the Cadillac Ranch. Kicking off your shoes if you know how to dance. Take me back down Cadillac Ranch. People gonna say, yeah, what does it mean? A monument to the American dream. But it don't mean a thing if you don't hear the sound of 1050 Cadillacs planted in the ground. Oh, if you go to Texas, give me a chance. Take me back down the Cadillac Ranch. Kicking off your shoes if you know how to dance. Take me back down Cadillac Ranch. Yeah, take me back down. Take me back down. Take me back down Cadillac Ranch. Cadillac Ranch. Cadillac Ranch. Quickly out of Texas and on into New Mexico. Of all the states that Route 66 runs through, New Mexico is the strangest vibe to it. It just feels dangerous. Stop at the Blue Swallow Motel. It's been there forever. And you can feel it. Feel it at the Buckaroo, and certainly in Glen Rio. The hotel says, welcome to the best hotel and the first hotel in Texas. Only problem, it's in New Mexico. You turn left at Klein's Corner and you go down toward Vaughn and Encino. Ghost towns now on their way to Roswell. In 1947, the renowned saucer crash on Mac Brassel's farm, and bodies were supposedly found on Hupcorn's ranch. Something strange in the summer sky. Something strange and things that fly, silver suits and almanac. Something strange in the summer sky. Jesse Marcel was still around. He would tell us what he found lying on Mac Brazel's ground. Jesse Marcel still around. Oh, then it's Cubero, New Mexico, the Villa Cubero, where Ernest Hemingway sat and wrote The Old Man and the Sea. Lucille Ball stayed there when she was getting a divorce from Desi, and John Steinbeck stayed there when he was writing The Grapes of Wrath. And on into the night on 66. You just wonder why Hemingway picked that spot in the middle of the New Mexico desert to write The Old Man and the Sea. I hear it's because he wanted to write against the terrain. He was looking for the spirit of the road. And Fritz Scholler, the Southwest artist, tells that not far from Santa Fe is a group of people called the Penitentes. They've been there since the 14th century, Spanish, speaking their own version of Old English. Few white men go there, believe it or not. And every Good Friday they crucify one of their members. Sometimes he's a volunteer, sometimes he's not. Sometimes he lives, sometimes he doesn't. But it's a place you don't want to go. Off New Mexico, off Route 66, off the planet. Route 66 is also the gateway to Los Alamos, where Oppenheimer and the boys were playing with the snake back in the 40s. And they carried his body parts to Alamogordo and the mushroom cloud of Trinity. Then it's on into Holbrook, Arizona, the Wigwam Motel and the Indian sign. On the summer afternoon, the Hopis hold dances for the tourists. The tourists in their Banana Republic shorts and Instamatic cameras. There are layers to those Indian dances there. They are layers of anger that cannot be denied. Then out of Kingman, it's onto the open road. A road so steep that back in the 30s, people couldn't get their cars over even in first gear, so the locals would drive you over in reverse. The sight of a car coming towards you in reverse on those winding roads I hear made a lot of people quit drinking. And I'm still looking for the spirit of the road, still looking for the spirit of the road. Give me airstreams, give me highways, yeah, show me the neon road. Give me Flagstaff, give me Barstow, yeah. Show me the highway home, show me the highway home. Give me fair lanes, give me joy rides. Show me the neon road. Give me Baghdad, give me Amboy, show me the neon road. On the old one road there's a golden gate of eucalyptus trees to the Golden State. When there's an angel touching my hand, I'm Johnny Flamingo in the promised land. I'm Johnny Flamingo in the promised land. And it's on through the Mojave Desert, through Chambliss, where General Patton trained his troops to fight Rommel, the Desert Fox, during World War II. Was the only place that was as bad as North Africa, sometimes worse. It's on through Baghdad, where the movie The Baghdad Cafe was based on. It was actually filmed in Newberry because the owner burned the town down for insurance money. And it's on to California, by Roy's Cafe, by Roy's Cafe. And I'm looking for the spirit of the road. I'm still looking for the spirit of the road. Does anybody see? Does anybody know where I can find the spirit of the road? In Ludlow, show me the neon road. Give me Barstow, give me Amboy. Show me the highway home. Show me the highway home. Looking for the spirit of the road.